And we are live. Welcome, brothers, to another show. Today we have a very good topic: code of conduct versus group economics, which is most important for Black men for collective success. We're going to get right into it, but first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey Jay, turn that up real quick.
Hello, Woody Cigars, 1927. All right, my business partner with a different business, a communication company we own. He has a passion for cigars. So he came to me one day and said, hey man, what do you think about starting a cigar company? So I was like, I'm all in. The only thing that I wanted to make sure was that we did everything from the ground up. I didn't want to go white label or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that we did the whole process. I wanted our own tobacco. I wanted to source everything from the farm to your mouth. I didn't want to take any shortcuts. So that's the way we got started.
Cigar smoking, the cigar atmosphere is a lifestyle. It's something that you gotta not only get into, but you gotta learn. And so we started from the bottom. We learned about it. We're steady growing, but we got so much more information that we can pass on, and so much more business aspect of it that we can give to our future customers. So
we have one of the best cigars on the market. It's because of the process we took to get there. We went to different factories, different farms, just trying to find quality, building relationships. Right now, I feel like we have the right relationships to create the right product. We have our own factory, our own rollers, our own tobacco.
In this factory, the family love working every day the cigar. All the people that we have here love your job and put your love in every cigar that we do here. For this reason, we are a factory that
Hey Jay, turn that up real quick.
Hello, Woody Cigars, 1927. All right, my business partner with a different business, a communication company we own. He has a passion for cigars. So he came to me one day and said, hey man, what do you think about starting a cigar company? So I was like, I'm all in. The only thing that I wanted to make sure was that we did everything from the ground up. I didn't want to go white label or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that we did the whole process. I wanted our own tobacco. I wanted to source everything from the farm to your mouth. You know, I didn't want to take any shortcuts. So that's the way we got started.
Cigar smoking, the cigar atmosphere is a lifestyle. It's something that you gotta not only get into, but you gotta learn. And so we started from the bottom. We learned about it. We're steady growing, but we got so much more information that we can pass on, and so much more business aspect of it that we can give to our future customers. So
we have one of the best cigars on the market. It's because of the process we took to get there. We went to different factories, different farms, just trying to find quality, building relationships. Right now, I feel like we have the right relationships to create the right product. We have our own factory, our own rollers, our own tobacco.
In this factory, the family love working every day the cigar. All the people that we have here love your job and put your love in every cigar that we do here. For this reason, we are a factory that has best quality cigar, because all material that you use is planting, growing in the air of the most fine tobacco in the world. The premium cigar is a cigar that have large filler, have a Cuban binder, and have a Dominican wrapper. All the people that work here have big experience. In this moment, this roller is putting the leaf in your hands. The leaf that we use is different countries. Different countries give you different flavors. He use a binder for put the filler, and start the process. You can see that he closed, and the cigar is ready to do pressure.
We have an aging process, so any cigar that you take of ours has been aged for at least 7 years, 7 to 10 years. We're getting this aged tobacco. Everything we do, we try to do it. We try to be perfectionists. Even though we feel like we have a great product right now, we're always out here trying to get better. We're always trying to do more.
The flavor process is a very long and complicated process because each tobacco is unique. So you need to know actually how to get them together, mix them to provide the flavor that you're actually looking for. And that is the reason why it's very hard to keep a flavor. So you have to make sure that of the quantity of the tobacco that you putting together and how you mix them, just to provide the flavor that you're looking for.
Another thing that we do is we create labels for other companies. So if you guys are out there and you have a label and you know it's a white label, you know you took a shortcut, come to us so we can get your complete cigar. You get what I'm saying? You get your own brand, your own tobacco, your own flavor profile. You know what I'm saying? Not somebody else's that you're just slapping a label on.
come learn about cigars. We've been partnering with some good other people, good other brothers, and we just want to take off with it.
It's kind of been trial and error, but right now we feel like we have a very good quality product, top of the line product. It took us probably about 2 years to get here, but right now we feel like we have some of the best cigars on the market. You know, and if you give us a chance, you'll find out.
All right, we are live. Let me get this situated. Give me 1 second, fellas. Let's go with the headphones today. All right, no headphones today. All right. All right, we are live. Sorry about that, fellas. Let me get this situated. TV all crooked. Hold on, let me. All right. All right. We here now. We in the building. What's good, fellas? What's going on, Fred Moore Jr.? What's happening with your brother? Oh, crazy. All right. I think we got everything situated now. We in the building, 32 strong, starting off with. We got a good topic today. First and foremost, man, I want to give a special shout out to Ella Louise Cigars, the official sponsor for Blackmen Travels, man. As you can see in the earlier video we did, man, these guys got premium cigars, man. So if you're a cigar smoker, check them out. If you want to support brothers, black businesses, hit the link in the description. We did a video out there for these guys, and we have a good rapport with each other now, man. So brothers is building all over the world. I suggest you guys go out there, check out the link. These guys really, they do diligence and they're doing their research and handling their business out there in the Dominican Republic, man. As far as the cigar making, they do everything from the ground up. I mean, we went out to the farms. They had some of the best blenders in the Dominican Republic. So like I said before, if you're a cigar smoker, make sure you check them out, man. Very good, smooth cigars. Now, let's go ahead and get to the topic. Now, this topic was brought up in the group a few days ago. No, actually a few weeks ago, maybe about a week or two ago. We were discussing group economics about black men supporting each other businesses and stuff like that, especially black men that have digital businesses where it's very simple to go support and buy a brother's product or buy a brother's service. And one of the guys in the group was saying, listen, man, group economics is not going to work unless black men have some form of code of conduct. And then that kind of gave a very good exchange among group members in the Blackmen Travels 2.0 group. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on the screen. If you guys haven't already joined the private Facebook group, Blackmen Travels 2.0, the original group is taken down at about 8,000 members by Facebook for violating community standards. We didn't violate any community standards, but I did speak with someone at Facebook who works with Facebook who was in the group, and he said that it was a lot of comments that they wanted to see, but for the most part, they didn't want brothers talking about investing and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, took it down. We're working on the mobile app, our own platform. I get emails all the time talking about Telegram. No, brothers, we want our own platform, so we won't be limited on our conversations, because a bunch of black men talking about traveling and economics could be a problem to some, okay? So if you haven't already joined, make sure you rejoin the private Facebook group. Let me put it up here on the screen for you guys. Let me scroll across the bottom here. The Blackmen Travels 2.0 Facebook group. And also, yes, it is my birthday today, man. We're going to be celebrating at Vibe. Shout out to my brother Rob Thorne. Shout out to Pete Patico. Shout out to my brother Jamal. Everybody out here in Medellin, man. We're going to be at Vibes Rooftop Lounge, official birthday party for BMT, man. It's on top of Epic Hotel in Parque Aries today at 3 p.m. So when you're off the stream, man, we're going to party. We're going to have a good time. We're going to network. We're going to move from there. Around 8 o'clock, we're going to go to Rob Rose's VIP. That's also in Parque Aries. It's a quick walk from one to the other. So if you in Medellin, pull up on your boy. Let's network. Let's chop it up. Let's have a good time and all that good stuff, man. Shout out to Xavier Lancaster for the happy birthday. super chat. I appreciate that, brother, for the $5 super chat. Shout out to my brother QB Willie B. Appreciate that, brother. And I had an earlier super chat that I don't see now for $19. Sorry, brother. Super chat is not showing for whatever reason, but I do appreciate that, man. I really do. So let's go ahead and get into the topic. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link if it's an open panel. Brothers want to come in and chime in. Now, we do realize, I want to put this in preface that, I do believe that a code of conduct for black men is really needed, man. A lot of black men, unfortunately, come up through broken homes. A lot of black men do have some type of trauma because of their childhood. A lot of black men grew up in very dangerous neighborhoods, in my opinion, without any male guidance. Most of the time, it's gotten worse as by generation. My generation, I would say 80s, 90s generation. We still had males around our communities that we can kind of pull information and energy off of. Right now, since the community has been so feminized, it's very difficult for young black boys to get any type of male guidance. And I do believe because of that, we do have issues when it comes to building with each other and handling business. So I do believe a code of conduct is needed, in my opinion, but you cannot downplay the importance of group economics. So I do believe you need a little both. The debate is which comes first, the code of conduct, because believe it or not, groups of men of different races do have somewhat of a code of conduct. Now, not all of them. You're going to always have, your rebels and everything that go against the grain in every race of men. But when I do business with white guys and other races of men, I do see that it's like a common respect and just a commonality of, we're not going to screw each other over, right? Because we know that we're competing for resources worldwide. So I do believe the code of conduct is very important. Case in point, I did business, with guys I grew up with, went to college together, knew these guys 15, 20 years. And then when the money started to flow in, because we didn't have certain things set, I feel like things got really fussy, and I lost a business partner and I lost a very close friend of mine. And it didn't have nothing to really do with money. It was just the fact that, when money comes in, man, a lot of things are revealed. Money is it can be the root of all evil, don't get me wrong, but it reveals a lot of things. And when you're bringing in money and some of your business partners don't understand that the money has to go right back out or has to be invested into something, that could be an issue. Because at that point, I think me and my previous business partner from years ago was the fact that the money that we was making, he wanted to spend it, he wanted to blow it, vacation with it, do whatever you want with it. And I was trying to explain to him, nah, brother, we got to put that money right back into the business for at least a couple of years. Then we started to pull out salaries once we started to turn more and more profits. So, was that group economics? Was that more code of conduct? I would say that was more on the code of conduct side to a certain degree. And I spoke with a brother who came up with this subject. He wasn't available today. Unfortunately, I tried to reach out to him. He wasn't available. And I wanted him to lead off because he was saying that for years he's tried to do business with brothers and it never really worked out. It never panned out for whatever reason. And he was saying that, brothers, we got to come up with some form of code of conduct in order to really do group economics with each other. We have it's funny, man, because we have a very particular situation, especially African Americans, where we generate so much money in so many industries, but we don't really control the industries because we don't really come together to a certain degree. I'm just going to be real. Now, yesterday we had a really good live stream, and one of my friends was Edward Anderson came on the stream. This was about a review of Kevin Samuel's Men's Week, so it was kind of tailing off in the same little subject. And Edward Anderson was saying that black men are scared of economics, which I disagree. I said, no, black men love to make money. Black men do make money. And you do have groups of black men that can build with each other and network with each other. I think that the issue arises when, once again, the money comes into play, and the fact that, it can be difficult with us working with each other because we don't really have a chain of command. within the black community, you got young guys, older guys. It's all over the place. Young guys not taking no knowledge from the older guys. The older guys not listening to the younger guys, which the younger guys have, the bulk of the talent and the innovation. Like every other group of men know to pull that talent source from the younger generation. It seemed like with us, unfortunately, older guys. I remember, for a prime example, I remember when the internet was really starting to pop off with online sales, and I was trying to tell one of my OGs who was still doing on the hand-to-hand, brick and mortar business. He was opening up. I was saying, bro, we need to really focus on online situation, then more so trying to go hand-to-hand with sales, as far as he had like security, little security things, flashlights, stuff like that for security businesses. And I was like, bro, you need to focus on online because everything is shifting online. And my OG didn't really listen to it because he was so stuck in brick and mortar sales, stores, franchises. And I'm like, bro, these stores are starting to shut down. Amazon is coming, eBay is coming, and online stores is popping right now. People ready to go online, order something right now. And he didn't listen to me. And because I feel like he didn't listen to me, his business pretty much failed because he was going with an old business model, right? And I think sometimes when you listen to the youth or the younger generation about social media, the Instagrams, the TikToks, they can really put you on game information. But some of the older bros be just so cut off and like, nah, I know everything because I'm older. Vice versa with the younger cats. The younger cats just need a little guidance and just need a little, push. But sometimes they have their ears turned off because they're not used to listening to an older black male. And I'm gonna tell you guys, when I started listening to older black males, my life went changed for the better tremendously, bro. Because can't nobody tell you how to move like an older black man. A white guy can give you a lot of good information. Women can give you a lot of good information sometimes. But the path that a black man walks is so different than anybody else's path, bro. I'm telling you that. It's going to be moments in your life, if you haven't already had these moments, when you walk in the room and you totally change the dynamics of the room, right? You just trying to do your job, but you walk in the room, you in your prime, you work out, you're smart, you're intelligent, and you walk in that boardroom and all the eyes are on you. And then you start getting the little sly remarks, you know what I'm saying? Even from sometimes your own brother, because you have that. You might get some sly remarks from, women, from other groups of men, white men or whatnot. You're trying to do your job. It's because their level of masculinity is so high, bro. When you come in, you got the deep voice, your chest out, you've been working out. It's like it just changed the dynamics. And it takes an older black male to tell you how to move in certain situations like that. Sometimes, unfortunately, in corporate America, you got to temper down your masculinity as a black man. They really don't even want to hire heterosexual, strong, masculine black men in these corporate environments. Why I think it's important for us to really build with each other, man, because other black men can, we're used to other black men. We're comfortable around each other more than anybody else. Believe it or not, other brothers are going to be more comfortable with you than women, men, anybody else, bro. So let me look at some of the comments, man. Appreciate the happy birthday shout out. Shout out to Keith Jenkins with the salute. Reese says big facts. Sean 2K says just sign up for your Black Men Travel 2.0. Bro, yeah. We're going to be turning up at Vibes in Medellin, bro, at Parque Yeres. We're going to be turning up at Vibes. We're going to have a good time, man. So, fellas, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link. We've been flowing for about 20 plus minutes. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link if you want to come on. Hold on. That's not the link. And once again, I appreciate all the happy birthdays, brothers. I appreciate that. All right, I just dropped a link in the chat, brothers. If you want to come on, we can chop it up. Not going to be like a really long show today, fellas. I got a lot going on. I got like 2 parties going on, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready and prepare for that. But in the meantime, let's chop it up. On what do you guys think is more important? Okay, we got 71 in the room. Do me a favor, hit that like button for your boy. As we wait for people to come in the room, we got another big topic to address tomorrow. That's been going on in the group. The whole P for P plus. Now I'm getting into it in this video. I'm gonna bring Cardell on here tomorrow. We're gonna chop it up about some group updates and the topics that we've been discussing lately about the P4P versus dating. For whatever reason, it's the big topic in the group right now. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm going to bring Cardell on, but that's tomorrow for another video. Today we're discussing code of conduct versus group economics. Shout out to my boy QB Willie B. Add him to the stream. QB Willie B, what's going on, my brother?
What's good, man? Happy belated birthday, dog. Like, much respect, dude. Much respect.
Appreciate that, my man. I appreciate that, bro. You out there in Mexicali?
Yeah, Mexicali. I was trying to give you a super chat, but I don't know. YouTube, I guess I got to be in the States or whatever, but it's cool, man. I definitely want to cop that BMT shirt, and so the next time we do a stream together, I'm going to rock it, you know?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. I've been keeping up with you on the ground, bro. You've been doing it up out there in Mexico.
Right. I mean, it's hot, bro. I ain't gonna even front, like 110, damn near 120. But the places where I'm staying, everything is cool, air conditioned, cold drinks, nice pool. So no complaints, no complaints.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I want to welcome our brother Randall to the show. What's going on, Randall?
Hey, what's going on, Aaron? Sorry about that. Somebody just cut me off, like really dangerous.
Oh man.
But hey, happy birthday, brother.
Oh, appreciate that, my man. Appreciate that, bro.
Hey, this is a great topic right here. Code of conduct and economics. Hey, that's in my opinion, both are important.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of brothers nowadays don't know how to actually like coexist with each other. Really don't. There's some that could, like you said earlier, they come from single mother homes and they never grew up around black men, and they don't know how to interact in a more positive way. They just think argumentative and don't want to listen.
Facts. Very good point. Very good point, brother. I want to welcome the brother, the one JPTV to the show. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, Aaron? Happy birthday, by the way. And yes, today
Appreciate that.
I tried to stay in the conversation yesterday, but my Wi-Fi dropped out, so I had to leave. But yeah, man, this is another great topic, man. Glad to be here. And man, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things that's going to help us as black men. That solidarity when it's time to deal with the issues affecting our community and us as men. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. Hold on, I put you on mute. I think we lost you, JP1TV. I think we lost you for a minute, brother. Download music, you there?
Yes, I am here.
All right, what's going on, my brother? How's everything with you?
Everything's going great. And happy belated birthday, by the way.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. So what's your thoughts on this topic?
I think every man should have a code.
Fact.
You can't be a man without a code. That comes first, then group economics later, you know?
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. How can you go through life without a code, you know? You got to have a standard, whatever that may be for yourself. You know what it is, but to be a man, you need a code.
Mm-hmm. Very, very, very important, man. That's very important. Like I said, I've been through so many situations. Now, the brother who came up with this topic in the group, man, we had a good conversation on the phone, and he was just saying how he'd been screwed over by so many other black men. And he was like, man, what we got to do is we got to form some type of code of ethics amongst each other socially first to let us know that, hey, this is the things that we're just not going to tolerate. And if you look at any organization of men, they have rules, bro. You know, mafia, whatever, you know, just groups of men that are economics together. They have to have rules. They have to have some type of chain of command. And I think because of our broken families within our communities, it's very difficult to build sometimes. Like, we've all had situations where business didn't work out with each other. But did the business didn't work out, or was it the relationship didn't work out? Sometimes you try to talk business with a brother, they get in their feelings. You be like, bro, this is business. This ain't got nothing to do with, friendship and all the cool homeboy stuff. This is business, bro. And I think you got to separate that sometimes. Like, nah, this ain't, we can be cool. We can chop it up. We can go out. We can have a good time. We can talk about the ladies. But when it comes to business, it's business. It has to be organized. It has to be some form of chain of command. People have to play their roles. This is an organization. And I think sometimes, like, some of the problems I've had doing business with other black men is the fact that, a lot of brothers don't want to just play their positions, man. A lot of brothers be on that ego trip sometimes. Yeah. Oh no, I want to be the CEO. I want to be this. I want to be that. I'll be like, bro, you're not a subject expert in this matter, so you really don't know what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? So let this guy run the point on this particular business, and then maybe when you come up with something or you have a subject that you're an expert in, you run the point on that. It's not about ego. It's not about who's the head or who's the CEO. You can all be CEOs. You can all have your own boat, and that comes into a big fleet. But at the same time, man, if you don't know what you're doing in certain things, you just don't know what you're doing.
Right. And to add on that,
Hey, right, preach. I'm one of those type of guys where I just pump money in. Hey, I'll be a silent partner.
Right. To add on that, Aaron, it's about, knowing your worth. Like if you're an expertise in a certain field and that's proven, like your track record is proven, then brothers can, relate and understand and take that lead. But, to come into a situation where there's multiple business partners and it's a field or career or I don't know, let's just say owning a restaurant and, you're not experienced with numbers or financing, then yeah, you got to, learn, take your role, take your lead, and then prove yourself over time. So it's about trusting the system, what this brother's doing. But as you mentioned, business is business. It should never be mixed with pleasure or anything else. Like this is strictly business and stick to the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. As we're talking about this, all that runs through my mind is the Joe Budden podcast situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, how Rory and Mal, they're all friends. They were all friends, but they never established like a hierarchy, a set hierarchy. It was just like, oh, since we're all friends, we won't screw each other over. And it can't go like that in business. You're making money. Money is involved, I don't care. Even if money isn't involved, you still need to set a hierarchy. You still need to set a standard of what's going to happen. If we do generate money, this is how it's going to be spread out. Instead, you have that situation now. A big fallout, potentially downfall of a podcast, end to a friendship, So that's why I encourage everybody to take this wise words and establish a code. What group economics? Just establish a code right from the get go.
Right.
If it can't work, then you shouldn't be in business with that said person. You just dodged the bullet. Look at it like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have y'all been keeping up with the Rockefeller situation with Jay-Z and Dame Dash? I think Dame Dash wanted to sell Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z's first album, as an NFT, and Rockefeller pretty much, or Rock Nation pretty much blocked it or filed a lawsuit against Dame Dash. And
I haven't heard about that.
And people was talking about, that's messed up. Dame was there, but I was just like, bro, at the end of the day, it's still business. Some people were saying, well, Jay's already a billionaire. He don't need the money. Let Dame get that. Because that was the original agreement that Dame would keep the masters right to Reasonable Doubt. He would keep his portion of the masters of Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z's first album. And things like, I guess things got a little fussy. This is what I'm talking about: code of conduct and group economics and stuff like that. Like, hopefully those brothers can come together and solve the matter behind closed doors. Because the thing is, when another race of man meddle in our affairs, right? Especially that whole thing with the music industry, how these brothers were making billions of dollars, and some of their artists don't even have a penny to their name anymore, because we had to pay off whoever for the major labels who really did nothing. You know what I'm saying, for distribution? They really did nothing but was gatekeepers. I just be hoping that black men can resolve it without bringing in the courts and white people and all that good stuff, man. But it is what it is.
It's hard. It's easy to sit back and say this, but I know it's going to sound cold, but this world is what it is. It's ruled by power and money. Mm-hmm. And as a man, it's your responsibility. You may not think you don't know it, but it's your responsibility to find out how the world works and how to function in it. And nobody's going to give you anything. You got to earn it.
Mm-hmm. No, you make a very valid point. You make an extreme valid point with that, man.
Because we know we're black men. We know that it's going to be hard for us. It's always going to be hard. They don't want us to succeed, period. And when we start a business with each other, the main thing we need to sit back and do is, hey, get some lawyers. Let's say me and you were in business, Aaron. Wouldn't the best way to do this from the jump street is for me to get a lawyer, you to get a lawyer, us to draw out a contract exactly how we're going to run this business, who has what say on this issue, who has say on that, who's the CEO, how this company's going to work. And every time the company grows, we go back, you get your lawyer, I get my lawyer, and we sit back and we'll stand on that contract. We renew it. We add more pages. We add people to the partnership. That's how it, in my opinion, how it should move.
No, I definitely agree. 100% agree on that. 100%. Shout out to Dylan Wakefield for a $2 super chat. I really appreciate that, brother. He says, "Know your role and shut your mouth."
That's a good one.
Yeah, man. So let me ask the panel this, man. Anyone can answer. When we talk about code of conduct, can you give me some examples of what a code of conduct would be? Would it be something like a rule list, or just social rules that we should all know? Like, what's a good example of it?
I was in the Army, and this is random. When I was in the Army, we had a code of conduct: honor, duty, respect, selfless service, and loyalty. Those are the basics to being a man, in my opinion. That's where you should start, right there.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a very good point. QB, what you think, brother?
Yeah, to kind of add on that is respect and loyalty. And, I played college basketball, so, this is kind of more related towards girls or whatever, but we always have that respect, like, yo, this is my brother, this is my teammate. When it comes to women and stuff, we ain't going to be fighting over no girls. We ain't going to be snitching or going behind each other's back, knowing the situation is. So the loyalty plays a big role because you're loyal to that individual. And that needs to be, preference in the travel community, with regards to women or anything else, make sure if you're, with your bro, y'all hanging out, like you guys are good, like you're going to make sure that he's taken care of for the night and nothing bad happens. So that respect and loyalty goes a long way, because we got to help each other, on how to move. And even with this information here, brothers want information on one city or one country. We're here to share that because we respect one another. We want we want that brother to have the same, or if not better, experience than we had when we're traveling as well.
Man, very, very good point, man. And I laugh because, believe it or not, even in Colombia, man, brothers are going back and forth about women, and it's just amazing to me. I'm like, bro, you are in the land of beautiful women, and guys are still like, for instance, in one case, I had some guys out here from the group, right? And one guy, I guess he took out a working girl, or he had relations with a working girl, and the next day, another guy had relations with the same girl. So the first guy gets mad, and it's like, he's like, bro, this is what she do. So why are you upset that your homeboy, did what he did with her too? Like, it's just little things like that. It's just hilarious, bro.
Right.
Hey, some of these brothers, there's no cure for emotional problems that you have inside you.
Yes.
It don't matter where you go.
Yes.
It don't matter where you go. If you have emotional issues where you want to be Drake, let's say this. Drake, he's a dirty Mac guy. That's the way he is. That's the way he operates. I know guys like that. And all of us on this panel probably know a guy that'd be like, okay, you date a woman, you'll break up with her, and next thing you know, this homeboy of yours will try to holler at her. But that's just how some dudes are.
Yep.
They get a kick out of that. They like to stir the pot. And for people like that, I don't really hang out with them. I try to follow my own moral code. I try to be loyal to other people and try to respect other people. Respect is earned with me. I try to treat people right. If you're not going to treat me right, I'm not going to hang around you. That's one reason why I travel by myself for the most part.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Let me catch this super chat real quick by RG with $10 super chat. I appreciate that, brother. He says, Chapter 12 of Blueprint for Black Power by Amos Wilson, The Economic Order and Power, and Chapter 14, Race and Economics, says exactly how black men should do business amongst each other and other races. I'm going to definitely check those books out. Anybody on the panel familiar with those books?
Nope.
I'm familiar with Amos Wilson, though, so I'm going to have to definitely check that out. Reese, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Man, how's everything going with you?
It's going beautiful, my brother. First of all, man, first time calling the show, man. I've been following you probably for the better part of this year, late last year, when I, decided I wanted to start traveling.
Nice.
I trust me, brother. I appreciate you, and I had to call today because you was hitting on a lot of things, man. I just wanted you to know that you got some brothers out here, man, that fully understand you in the States. And I just want to show my support to it and just kind of offer my advice, Jewel, something I can give a brother. And, hopefully he can manage something that can manifest today. Mm-hmm. So, brother, I guess we're about the same age. So I'm 40. And I've been driving semi-tractor trailers for 20 years. One thing I will say this about Atlanta that I've noticed about the brothers in Atlanta, the brothers and sisters from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It must, I think by Dr. King being there, I've noticed in my particular industry, a lot of brothers and sisters, man, they know how to stick together from Atlanta. Like I can call brothers right now, that has, different accounts set up and how easily brothers work together down there. And it's amazing to me. I promise you, I really think it has something to do with Dr. King having a presence in that city, mm-hmm. For the knowledge that brothers continue to show. But so the thing is, man, one, I'm a solo brother myself. I typically do things on my own, but I had to learn the hard way. First I became an owner operator where I purchased my first truck, and obviously, only knowledge I had ever had was as a driver. I didn't know too much about repairing vehicle, repairing the vehicle things, looking at this. When I became an owner, that's when I had to learn about the business, the more of the, the income, the debt to income, what's coming in, what's coming out of my profit, and am I losing? And so a lot of, Caucasian males, particularly, is what you saw in the repair shops. So, when I became a business owner, man, everything changed for me, right? So I went from, hoodies and jeans and Timberland boots to become an owner operator, and I kind of switched it up, and now I'm wearing, button ups, cashmere sweaters, and this is a business for me, right? This is my particular business. So I would get a lot of negative indication when I was going to these repair shops, and they just overcharge me. Don't do what I need them to do, right? Just whatever they can to take money out of my pocket. So I was in the union. I went back to the union because that's what I thought I needed to do at the particular moment in time. Sold my truck, and I had 2 years to sit and think about all the Caucasian males that did me wrong, or I felt did me wrong, or didn't respect my dollar. The black dollar didn't respect my black dollar when I brought my truck into that shop. I had 2 years to think, brother, and at that point, the seed, like my father had just passed, and boy, did he plant some seeds. He planted some seeds, man, that just carried on after he passed, right? And at that, because the whole time, now he'd been trucking all my life. He grandfathered into the business, and that's the only thing I ever seen. I'm in second grade, man. I'm in New York looking at the Statue of Liberty in second grade, right? So from a youngster, this is the only thing I ever wanted to do. And a lot of things that he did it for me, because this is what I wanted to do and follow him. So the seeds that he planted, we used to always talk about engines. We used to talk about trucks and different things. So it clicked to me, man. After it took 2 years, but it clicked. And that's when I went back to technical college for diesel mechanics. Right?
Okay.
For 2 years, brother, I absorbed and soaked up everything I could from that particular industry, from that field. It was rough. It was hard because I had to deal with the white male and his jealousy, right? I had to deal with the white man and his jealousy. And I had to grit my teeth and bear all. Let's just say that. But I got what I needed to. I got all the information that I needed to get. I did a lot of praying. It was, God, let me get everything that I need up out of here before it's time for me to go, because I knew I couldn't stay in that field forever. With these lackluster, white guys, right? On top of that, I was dating a nurse practitioner who thought that, I know this is kind of going off topic, but I dated a nurse practitioner, a sister, who thought that she wanted me to go to college. I wasn't good enough for her, right? I can't. It's a certain level of women that I would like to date. I don't want to go backwards. I can stay right there in the middle or go a little forward. But problems with that. Then friends, family that you grew up with, they see you winning, and they know how to talk a good game, right? To enter your mental space, kind of like what you're doing right now, brother. Just creating a platform, talking to brothers, and paving that way, just opening up a door for brothers to, hey, do something positive, right? To no avail. Brothers talk a good game and say that's what they want to do, but I don't believe it, man. And at this point in the stage in my life, like what I spent a lot of time trying to help brothers, saying, okay, this is what you want to do. All right, well, I stop what I'm doing to help get you in the industry, right? I team up with you, show you everything that you need to do. No problem. I will sacrifice a year of my life just so I can get you up to speed to where I'm at, and then kind of, bring you to where you need to be. And we can do things a certain kind of way. We can move how we want to do. We can purchase us some land, build our own thing, do our own thing, get us some land and be cool. Stay out of the way. To no avail, man. It's very hard trying to do anything with brothers, man. And again, kind of everything goes back to what we've been for the past 400 years, what we've known for the past 400 years. And I just appreciate you, bro. I just had to come. You were sitting on some points, man. I just had to say something. It was burning me up inside. And I just want you to know, man, you got support out here. And I just got my passport, and it just came in the mail last week. And so, when the time is right, one thing I have been peeping game from you all in the BMT community is asset bound. Make sure I'm asset bound before I leave. Now, another thing. Now, during the recession, you remember 2008, 2009, we had the big recession and everything. In my opinion, now mind you, I was the owner operator at that particular moment in time. I had plenty of money, right? Now, I just got out of a divorce. My cousin.
Brother, we don't want to get too off topic.
This is related to I promise you, but I'm gonna say this. This is related to the topic. Okay, so his brother-in-law was a carpenter. Okay, I went to my cousin because I didn't feel comfortable enough going to his brother-in-law, and I said, hey, listen, cuz, I got money. As you can see, I don't have the credit right now to purchase some of these homes because the market had crashed. So we talking like $200,000 homes, man. You can get them for $90,000. I say if we can purchase these properties, we'll be asset rich. We might be, we still got money where we can make payments on these different things. And the jealousy happened. He was like, he never did talk to his brother-in-law for me. Fast forward a couple years later, now he and his brother-in-law are wanting to start a real estate company and buy property, and he'll fix it up and do all these other different things and get loans. I'm like, man, get loans. I had the money in my pocket, right? So it's a problem, man. And the best way to move is by yourself. That's just what I wanted to tell you, brother. They're just my experiences that I've dealt with, being a black man in America and, trying to figure out some things with some brothers, man, to make a way. That's just what I want to say, man.
Most definitely. I was thinking about, as far as the code of conduct, one of the most difficult things is how black men, I don't want to say the word handle, but how we manage, our women collectively now, not, individually, but collectively. Certain groups of men just have a set standard for the most part, especially when you see overseas. You'll see that it's very few women that are overweight in these countries. Like, there's some, but it's very few. And that really comes from the collectiveness of men not tolerating overweight women. They just not going to talk to them. They're not going to give them the time of day. Versus in America, if it's a girl right now on Instagram, brother. She's like 300 plus. I mean,
wow,
300 plus. But she has probably about 400,000 followers. She posted a pic, and it'd be black men in the chat like, "Baby, you beautiful. Ooh, baby, lovely. Ooh, look at that. I love them rolls, baby." You be like, bro, what are you doing out here? Like, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about when it comes to code of conduct before we go to group economics.
I love them rolls. What the hell?
Oh, bro, you should. She has a lot of followers, man. She's like I guess a plus size Instagram model.
Right.
And,
well, Aaron, and my response is, black men, especially in the States, we're always kind of known to be a BBW or chubby chaser. And that has to stop, man. And the reason is, these girls, especially non-black women, their ego gets stroked tremendously because it's like, I know if no other man or no other race wants me, black men will want me.
Yep. Let's keep it a buck.
True.
And so, when they see certain brothers that is pre-selected by women or women that are healthy, skinny, athletic built taste, if we push that narrative, then yeah, you're not going to have women wanting to be overweight or etc. Because it's like, man, like I know for sure this brother ain't going to like me based on what I've seen on his social media or whatever. Like, it's not happening. So I think that's very important that you brought this up, that brothers don't have to settle with BBWs at all, period. Your resources, if you want to go to another country, you want a submissive, healthy looking woman, you can get that. You can get that.
Preach.
Most of us brothers in the States,
every
been
man
beat
should
down
have
so
a
damn
code.
long, bro. Oh, sorry about that. You go ahead, man.
All right, no. I was just saying again. Every man should have a code. You need to set a standard. I mean, I'm a DJ in the DJ industry. We say, set your price and don't go over, because they're gonna try to screw you over after that. You gotta set your price.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go through that BBW phase. Don't mix up thick with fat.
Wait. Hold on. The BBW phase.
Yeah, man. People just
I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, in the
yes, sir.
90s, early 2000s, the big girl had a role. Let's keep it a buck.
Hence the phase.
That's the phase. The big girl had a role at the end of the night. 2-3 in the morning. Who was you gonna hit up?
True.
Either the big 2 girl. Or 3 or the big girl. You be like, man, I'm gonna go ahead. I remember I had one homeboy, my homeboy Doughboy, and I used to be like, all right, bro, it's big girl night. He be like, big girl night, because I would pretty much play a wingman for him. And when I was skinny, skinny guys get the big girl. So he was a big guy. So I was like, all right, bro, it's big girl night. So yeah, that big girl. Now the big girl got 2,000 followers on Instagram and Facebook, and this is a wrap. She's city girl now. She's popping now. Because of Blackmen.
But you know what though, brothers? Like so like I used to personally train a little bit. I used to do a little amateur bodybuilding, right? And I think a lot of what we go through, see, like, my grandmother was a heavy set woman, right? But she grew up in Mississippi. And her mother died when she was 6.
Right? Sister Luke.
And you know what I'm saying? They locked her stepmother locked the refrigerator on her. On the kids when they were younger, man. That's just a fact, right? So I think psychologically a lot of that has to do with that. And the woman got a particular, the American black woman got to find it in herself. My patience is thin with her. I refuse to talk to another black American woman until I go to Brazil. Right? That's my opinion.
Now, my philosophy is I can't mess with a black woman with an American birth certificate. That's how I look at it.
I ain't mad at you.
Damn.
I ain't mad at you.
All right, bro. So I don't know how we got to this topic.
Yeah, how we get on that? I came in for the topic, but we
yeah. Well, you know, I kind of
Frustrated black man. That's why.
I did take it
No,
down
no,
to a certain
I
degree.
ain't frustrated. I ain't
You
frustrated.
know?
No.
I'm-
Hey,
I'm great.
can I give a shout out to my man from Mexico that does his content from Mexico? Because I've been watching your content on another YouTube too. You put out some good content, man. That the one that you smiling. I don't know your name, man, but the brother that puts out that stuff from Mexico.
Oh,
Shit,
QB.
there you go, the one that's talking right now. Yo, you got quality. You really know what you're doing, man. You got some quality stuff.
Oh man, much appreciated, man. You know, I know brothers are a little afraid to go to Mexico or don't know where to go to Mexico. And I'm happy to kind of be that lead guy, you know, to give the ins and outs.
I tell you what, you had a pretty bird with you the other day when you did a nice little home movie. That shit was a beautiful thing, man. You had
Brandjur, no cussing, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. You had a beautiful. It was a beautiful movie, man. It's a beautiful take.
Okay, no doubt.
We appreciate the quality that you brought out there. We were like, yo, this boy's doing it big. So thank you, man. I'm saying thank you to all of us.
Right. No, much respect, bro. Definitely.
I want to just the thing I wanted to say was this because my thing's a little different.
Hold on. Hey, big dog, can you mute up?
That's J Rash. You gotta mute yourself, bro. Go ahead, Brandjur.
My thing is different. Like I said, I'm Hispanic, so I see the Afro-Latino part of it. And I deal a lot with Venezuela females and Colombian and Panamanian and a whole bunch of females. And I'm finding out that the most submissive, I don't like using the word submissive, but the more agreeable females I've ever meeting is when you got your stuff together. When you come in and you tell them exactly what you want, it's weird, man. They'll always work with you opposed to coming to the United States. And I want to give you a quick assessment because this happened to me 2 days ago. There's a young lady from Cali. She's 51 years old. She looks like she's 23. I mean, she got the red hair, skinny waist, body is banging. But she has this American mentality. So now I work in a medical setting and she's a consultant. And I know she's making big money because they flew her from California to where I'm at. And there's all of us behind. We're in a doctor's office. We're doing a couple of things. And every time she's talking to me, she's touching me. She's like, oh, you got big arms. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But she's not flirting. She's just touching. It's a little flirtatious, but whatnot, right? So I said, look, I don't date American women. I told her straight up, I don't date, man. So she looked at me like, oh. Anyway, once I started talking, I found out where her head is at. She just likes spending money. She makes over 100,000, but she spends more than 100,000. So to me, she's just ghetto poor. But she has the Mercedes, she has the stuff. She likes going on yachts and stuff like that. But I looked at her like, your waist. Why would I date you and your waist? Because all you're gonna do is drain my resources, right? So throughout the period of last week, we've been chilling one night at work. So this thug kid, because I work in the ER. We're doing a lot of things with surgery and stuff like that. This kid got shot up a couple of times and he's standing. We doing something with him, right? Now he comes down. I told him empty his pockets. He pulls out a wad of hundreds, plow right up there. You should have seen this woman's eyes swell up. So you could see that he's a street boy. You could see he's a dope boy. I mean, he has the dreads, the tattoos, the whole mannerism, the baggy pants or the super pants. This girl is salivating. I mean, she's just drooling. All of a sudden, she went to him like, hey, can I get this? My number. When you get out of here, call me. And I'm looking at her like, damn, this is a professional woman who ratchet as hell with red hair, long red hair, 51, 52, think she's 23. And this is what she's looking for. She wants to bring me into this craziness. And this is the mentality of females. They don't care. It's all about what you have. The more money you have, they don't care how you get it, but that you got it and you could provide a lifestyle. And because she asked me, I said, yeah, if we go out, I said, first of all, we're not going to go out because I'm not paying lobster and shrimp for you because I'm not coming out my pocket for you. I told her straight up, I'm not coming out my pocket for you when we both make the same money. I said, I'm not coming out my pocket for you. I would take that $300 that I spent for you and I'm going to Colombia. And I spent $15 on a female, have a great time. She got mad at me. Oh, you like control? I said, no, I like what did I tell her? I said, I like results. And we just kept it at that. We cool now. She don't understand where I'm at. I understand where she's at. But she like Pookie and Ray, and that's American mentality, man. They want a man that's finished is going to spend on her because she didn't mind me splurging money on her as long as she didn't have to pay it because her money goes on bags, on Mercedes. She wants to go on yacht. Fuck that. But she doesn't live that life.
No.
So, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's too late now, Brandjur.
Yeah. That's my red thing. But I just don't deal with the. And the weird thing is, I have a young lady that I'm talking to in Venezuela, drop dead gorgeous. I mean, if you see her, she could be a Miss Universe. Drop dead gorgeous. Just graduated college next month. She's 27, going on 28. Super sweet. And she doesn't want nothing out of me. She don't even ask me for money. She's like, no, don't come out your pocket. I'm good. So it depends. And again, the thing is the Spanish, though, because I do talk Spanish. Because I asked if I didn't speak Spanish, she goes, well, we couldn't have a relationship because we couldn't understand each other very well. But the Spanish is a doorway.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm from Jamaica. I didn't have I don't typically have the normal upbringing of a regular Black American. Like both my parents are still married. I mean, they've been together for 36 years now. And what do you think caused this caused like the whole code of conduct dissipating in the Black community? Because I don't get it. My family has it. I mean, at least in Jamaica, from what I see, there is a code of conduct. We go by separate rules.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon, because I'm going to ask you a similar question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think the code of conduct is everywhere because it's weird. Because I'm talking to this Venezuela girl, and I already told her my code of conduct, and she's all on it. I mean, she calls me every day as, look, I do everything for you, and I do anything for you. My life is yours. Straight up off the bat, she goes, I live for you, right? And if you don't believe me, I could pull her up here, and she'd be like, yeah, she'll tell you exactly what she told me. Because she tells me that all the time. But because I know the code of conduct in our country, it's a machismo world, but shit, I gotta stop. I treat you way better than people in your country. Because I know my country, I know my father, I know my uncle, and all of them treat females. And you don't want to know how they treat females for real, because it's on another level. So there is a code of conduct. Like she told me the other day, because she's very beautiful, she's gorgeous. She told me, hey, can I wear anything around you? I said, yeah, as long as you're with me. She goes, okay, cool. I said, but why are you telling me this? She goes, because in my family, my aunts and my cousin, anybody else cannot wear anything around their husbands because they will, first of all, they'll smack the hell out of them and tell them going to change. Because in Venezuela, the woman is so pretty that if you walk out the door, everybody's going to get up on you. And men are super jealous over there. So they don't allow females to go anywhere they want to. They got to check with the husband. So she had to check with me. And I'm like, it's a little weird, but I was like, yeah. As long as you're with me, we good. She's like, oh, cool, because I will wear it, But I have to ask first because I know all the men in my family are. So the code of conduct is already bred into your family. Her family, her cousin, her uncle, everybody already taught her what she's supposed to do. Now, when they make American, you guys have no conduct either. The men don't have no conduct. So she's not going to ask you. She's just going to do what she wants to do because there's no conduct with you guys.
Yeah.
Talking about women, but the guys have no conduct either.
Yeah, my thing, I'm just wondering, like, because back in the day, there was a code. You could tell there was a code prior to, like, I guess the 80s, 70s, 80s, but it seemed like it was just lost. And I'm still trying to wrap my head about what happened to the Black community in the U.S. It really bothers me.
The fathers left.
True.
No fathers.
It's a long story. It all starts back in the 60s when the civil rights movement happened.
I think it's a lot of things too. I'm sorry.
It's a lot of factors. I think
it's Disney too.
But the father is, the father is the one who instills discipline, respect for other men.
No.
Because I had a father, and he always brought me around. What'd you say, Berger? You said no. You said the father doesn't instill discipline
because the man was demasculated by the slave owners. See, they don't run the house. The slave owners ran the house. The slave owners could have sex with their wives. What I'm saying is this:
we're talking about post-slavery, post, Jim Crow.
But post-slavery, they put them in jail because they want slaves. They still control them, and they still control the household. And then they told Black women to join into this revolution, which is a feminist revolution, and that you could be one of us, and they weren't. So it's a whole systemic thing. We taking one thing. It was Disney telling you could live a fairy tale life. If you look at Disney. Disney tells women from their 2 years old how to live.
But I disagree with you saying. So you're saying that it didn't matter if the father was there. It was a foregone conclusion regardless. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying this. Disney teaches a young girl that you're supposed to live a forever happy life. That once you get married, it's supposed to be forever, and you're supposed to be a happy life. They don't tell you once you close the door, the shit starts. It starts for real. It starts for real.
If I didn't have I don't mean to cut you off, sir. I promise.
Yeah, go ahead.
If my father my father is the reason why I am the way I am today, because he didn't allow no foolishness from nobody, right? And so
But
the same things that he instilled in me, I still live to this day.
but that's rare. That's rare
That's,
nowadays.
it wasn't rare before 1960. That's my whole point, brother.
But now they call it toxicity, male toxicity. If you are a man, you're X'd out. That's male toxicity, which is sad because
No, that's not, brother. Hold on,
Yeah, go ahead.
brother. So you using like nuance. We're talking about pre-civil rights,
Okay.
around like 1900. You know what I'm saying? Like after slavery, when black fathers were in the house, black children were studying, they were doing good, they weren't doing all this wild, crazy, doing this stuff they doing now. That's the whole, that's the whole premise, brother. It's like
I look
I
at it
agree with that. I agree with that. I
But
agree.
the thing I'm saying is, post-slavery, they still started putting black men in jail at an alarming rate because they wanted slaves still. So that really didn't change. It's just
hold on,
assumed
we got to
that
kind
didn't
of
change our community. That didn't change our community.
it didn't change it, but a culture was never there because your culture is not yours. You're talking about culture is not yours because our culture is African, and nobody here speaks even a lick of African or whatever language or whatever region in Africa they're in. So your culture is American or American. So you lost
right.
your
It
culture.
is.
Black
So you lost your
America.
culture. Yeah, well, we lost our culture. You lost your culture. So you're talking about after slavery, but after slavery, you didn't have a culture. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't have a culture. You don't have your language. You don't have your culture. You don't have your food.
But we still have our own creativity.
But bro,
You know what I mean?
see, I don't like that.
But if you don't have a culture,
when
you don't
y'all-
have a structure.
when y'all try to do that, bro, when y'all say like we ain't got no culture and we American black and we got all, bro, come on, bro, like.
But what
Everything
culture
that we
you
do
have?
influences the world today.
Prove me wrong.
All
Name
right.
me your culture. Name me your
No,
culture.
my culture is Mississippi Negro culture.
You see, that's American.
Hey, what's wrong with that? That's where I'm from.
Prove me. Just prove me
That's
wrong.
where I'm from, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's where I'm from. My mom, I know my
Where-
great grandfather. Wait, my great grandfather wasn't a slave. My great grandfather wasn't a slave. He owned his own land. He had property. My father, they went to school. They taught me everything. We got dishes. We got
that's
family. We got
American
structure.
You're talking about American culture.
Okay, it's American. Okay,
Where
what's
you-
wrong with that?
That's all I said. You don't have
But-
a culture of your own.
I do have a culture. I just told you
But
it's
you took-
American.
Everything that
That's
you come from
not
us.
your own. That's not your
Excuse
own.
me.
Somebody gave you that culture.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me. Where are you from?
Me? I'm from Panama. I'm Panamanian.
You're Panamanian. I'm from Jamaica. Black people were brought to Panama and Jamaica.
You're right. But
So what's the difference? What's the difference? Yeah, I have a Jamaican culture. They have a American culture, but we're not. Okay, we're displaced from Africa. It's whatever. It's whatever. Either way, we're all black, man. It don't matter.
No,
I don't agree with
We all
personally.
went
I
through
do not
colonialism.
agree. Yeah, I
We
don't
all
agree
went
with how you just went off and like said, "Oh, they don't have culture because they're American. They're Black American."
No, what I said was
Whatever.
Your culture is an American culture, and in that
Yeah.
culture, there was a systemic destruction of the black man, and I
Yeah.
alluded to that. The destruction came from many places. It's systemic. It's not one thing. It's many things. It's the feminist movement that told women that they could be better than they are, and to believe in something else. It's Disney that told women that they could live a happily ever after. It's also the degrading of black men, and then there's laws that black men have that
That's
nobody
true.
else has. So,
But what
it's
about when we
systemic.
failed ourselves? What about when we failed ourselves? When we bought
culture
into
was-
the crack epidemic?
Thank you. So the culture was always against us. And then when it came into the 60s and 70s, the culture told women, you don't need a man because we have food stamp and welfare and whatnot. And if you take the man out of the household, you
What
could
about
do
the crack
better.
epidemic? When a young
The
man,
crack
15,
epidemic in
20
Ronald
years old,
Reagan,
got $200,000-$300,000
Hey guys,
in his
guys,
pocket.
guys.
Yeah, y'all just talking.
Guys. The issues are the issues. We can't change the issues. What we
Yeah.
can do is move forward from this point. Looking at the past, we analyze there's faults everywhere. But today is today. The past is the past. What got us here is what got us here. Study it, learn from it, and let's move on. Our women are women. They're wired the way they're wired. If you want to roll the dice with them, you want to roll the dice with them. Me personally, I'm good. Our
Yes, sir.
culture is what it is. It is what it is. Either you want to live in it, coexist in it, or you want to just be in it and work. That's what I'm here. I'm here in the United States to work, stack my paper, stack my investments, stack my crypto. I pay no attention to the nonsense.
Yes,
I
sir.
know what my
Exactly.
future is. My future is a
Exactly.
woman from another culture. So
Yes, sir.
that's what my focus
Okay,
on.
but
These women are what these women are.
you're talking
Yeah.
about you
Can I
said
ask
a
you a
lot of
question? Can I ask you a
yeah.
question?
You
Go
said
ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead. Go
So
ahead.
I,
One at a time.
I'm
One at a time. Which one?
I'm under the
Yo, what
same
up?
elk.
Who's this?
I'm under the same elk that's what I'm doing. I'm going to find me another woman in another country, in Brazil particularly. And how do you bring her in your mindset? Have you already planned of how do you bring her back? Do you let her
No,
stay
that's
there?
that's the number one thing, brother. You never bring her
that's
back. You
that's
can't.
Yeah.
You can't, brother. From
Okay.
my experience being in the military, you do not bring a foreign woman back here. You don't.
Yeah.
You got to figure
But
out a
What
way
see,
to
about the
be closer to her and more time with her. And
Hey,
it's
real
on
quick,
what
you
fellas,
as a
up.
man to do that.
Let me catch
what
a
about
super chat real quick, man. We can get right back to it. Shout out to Jason Phillips for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate that, my bro. He says, "Happy birthday, BNT. What's up, fellas on the panel?
what's up,
Really
man.
appreciate that, man."
I
Hey,
want to
can,
say, oh, brother, were you done? Brother, I wanted to say this. I noticed, I'm noticing from, brother, what's your name? From Panama? Bonjour. I just don't want to pronounce it.
Brandon and Jordan, my
Bradshaw,
kids'
Bradshaw.
names. Yeah.
I just, I just don't understand. Like, and I know this other guy who was in there that one stream telling us that we scared to go to Africa. That Icy dude with the Black Panther photo. He's saying Black American culture is subculture. I don't understand how, Africans, non-ADOS say these things, but then when we go to foreign countries, y'all dressing like us, talking like us,
I think
walking
you
like
misunderstand.
us. But not
Yeah,
you
but
though,
no, no,
necessarily.
no, no,
But
no. I understand it because when I talk to Africans and I hang out with Africans, they don't really have to tell me their culture. I understand it because all the cultures are basically the same. They're all based on machismo. So all of the cultures are basically the same. The only person that really you have an issue with is when you come to the United States, you find out that there's okay. I could even tell you when you date a Spanish woman. When you date a Spanish woman, it's completely different than a black woman. That's why I heard somebody saying that they go into Brazil and whatnot. They still have culture, and their culture will dictate how the woman's going to act. If you go out there without no culture, no rules for them, you're going to meet completely different because you're going to play a game without no rules. And if you play a game without no rules, somebody always wants to win. It's going to be the female. That's why I can't understand the way you guys are talking. You talk about I'm going to go to another country. You don't know the rules because you don't know the culture well enough to do it. I
I
don't go
just
to
need her
Brazil,
to be as feminine as possible. I need a
but you don't know
feminine
the
woman.
culture though.
Right?
But you don't know that. Let me, if I can. When I date in the United States, there's no rules to it. There's really no rules to it. There is no rules, right? Even your dancing, there's no rule to your dancing. When you dance salsa merengue, there are steps and a way. The woman doesn't move in salsa. You know this, right? The only way a woman can move is when you move her. The woman doesn't have a choice. You move her any way she wants to. She looks great and awesome, but she doesn't get to move. You move her. That's the way to dance because the dance is the dance that is a romantic, the way people used to marry back then. You used to have to dance with the females, and that would be like an engagement, and that would show you how you were supposed to get married, right? It was a courtship. Dancing was a courtship. That's why if you look at Spanish music, women don't have no moves. Only the man does, right? Women follow. First step is the man with the right, and then she follows everywhere we go. If you don't know that structure and you walk in there, then you're completely lost. And
What
that's what
about two step? No, we got two stepping in America. We got
okay, you can put it how you want to, but what I'm saying is there's no structure. If you try to dance salsa, you'll understand that if you don't know the structure, you're gonna look completely crazy while everybody's flying around you because everybody's dancing with structure. It's the same thing with dating somebody. Dating somebody has structure in Spanish country. A woman cannot order food just off the menu. She has to ask you, right?
Facts.
If you allow women to do just, I'll order for myself, then they already know you're a sucker from the get-go. That's what I'm saying. If you're going anywhere, you don't know the structure, the culture, then you're gonna be lost. When I go to Panama, any Spanish country, I'm always in charge, not because I want to, because that's what women demand me to be. I cannot do what I want because a woman's gonna say, hey, why you let me do this? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still thinking like an American. Let me switch my mind. And it's not that, and you're gonna see it as a beautiful dance and courtship, but you don't know the steps we're taking. And that's what I'm trying to say. There is structure to everything.
Is there structure in twerking, American twerking?
Oh my God.
I mean, hey, you know, something. I think that's a new form. So I think that came from a different era from what you're seeing today.
No,
Right.
no.
Wait, hey, brother. So you said salsa. Where does salsa originate from? Cuba, correct?
No. Salsa is, I tell you the truth, salsa is a black dance. It used to be called slave dance. It came from the farmers picking cotton. Cotton is cotton, bachata, salsa, all of it is black.
But when you say black, I mean like what, you know what I mean? Like,
Country?
because you said Spanish earlier, so I'm kind of trying to figure out.
Okay.
I thought it was
When I
Cuba,
mean-
but
When I mean Spanish, I mean Afro-Latino. I really don't. In the United States, we use Spanish for Latino, Spanish. But we know
but when
what we
y'all
mean.
but see, when y'all say we don't have a culture and all that, I can say the same thing to y'all, the Afro Latinos, because it's not y'all language. Spanish is not y'all language.
Yeah, but we're born into a
Bachata.
culture. But we're born into a culture. Well, that's
So
what I'm
are
saying.
we.
Look, no, okay,
Our
let's
culture
put
is
the
American.
let's put the dancing. If you were right now to go and dance salsa and you don't know the steps, you can't dance it. That's my culture, right?
Okay.
Most people in Spanish countries don't go to school to dance salsa. They
Hey,
just
you guys take it easy. I gotta go. Peace out.
their culture.
Peace, man.
In the United States, we do hip. Like, yo, we learn it by watching. There is no structure to it. It's
My
just a
culture
feeling.
It is a structure. You just don't understand
My
it. It
culture
is a
is
structure.
I've been here 50
funky.
years. 40
It's free. It's free. It's malleable. It's non-restrictive. Our dance. It's not a.
I've been a dancer for a
It's
long
still
time.
fun.
No,
I'm just
but
me
there's
too. But
there's no
the whole
what I'm
point.
saying is,
The
you know
whole
what I'm
point is
talking
our
about.
dance. I know what you're saying, brother, but you're trying to say it like because it. I'll just say this real quick, bro, real quick. So you're saying because it's steps and it's instructions, which is cool. I'm not trying to discredit that. I'm just saying our dances are very popular around the world.
I'm not
Everything
saying
we
none of
do
that.
is popular. Okay,
I
go
dance
ahead.
hip hop. I've been a dancer. I understand that, but what I'm trying to let you know is this: most of us learn how to dance just by feeling it and just dancing to it. In Spanish music, there's actual structure that the women have to follow because the dance mirrors the lifestyle. Women don't get the first move, the man does. Women don't get to move themselves, the man moves them. So therefore, the music was actually a maiden dance that the men created for the females, right? Because it was something that they made. So it's part of their culture. And everything in the culture runs in a specific manner, specific movement. If you don't know that and you just put yourself in there, it's going to be completely weird to you because you're not giving the woman culture. And anytime you don't give a woman rules or they don't know what's going on, they get nervous. And that's what I'm trying to let you know. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that when you're American, because I am too, when you're American and you date a Spanish woman and you don't know the steps to date somebody and how to put them in their slot, they start acting American because that's how you're acting to them. They don't have to ask you for money. They don't have to ask for anything. I have a young
Funk
girl
is
that
culture.
The coach is different though. The coach is different.
Funk is culture. A lot of brothers in America, it's funky, man. That's a fact. You see what I'm saying? So that personifies swag. That personifies, ability to, move how you want to move. There's nothing wrong with grabbing culture because, of course, before I go to different countries, of course you want to study. But of course, from what I've been finding out is everybody came from Africa. It was colonial. Every country was colonialized and ran over with imperialism. So again, some of the things that came from Africa, every place that you look at whether it's Afro-Latina, whether it's African American, Canada, I believe brothers made hockey. Look at if we don't have culture in America, who invented hockey? Who were the first players to invent the game of hockey that is still loved and cherished to this day?
Black slaves in Canada.
Let me say this. Let me inject this real quick. And somebody, please put yourself on mute. There's some background noise. I think we went off a little bit off topic, but it's good. It's good. We was originally talking about what happened to code of conduct amongst black men in America, right? Okay. And then we went around and we said, well, this is what happens. We can trace it back to around the 60s. We wasn't really saying that we didn't have a culture originally. We were just saying what happened to our code of conduct amongst men. So that's where the original, I guess, where we start to dissect towards other ways. So to get back on topic, man, I was going to ask you, Granger, do Latino men have a code of conduct? And I guess you pretty much answered that. You said yes, they do.
But one thing is, you do have a culture. Your culture, I think, is better than almost all the other country because your culture is completely different than every other country. Because your culture is more on economic and freedom, and I can tell you more about that culture because we, as Spanish people, we are starving for it, but we don't have it. And because, let me get back to your thing, but I'm just going to say it this way, right? In the United States, you had people that actually fought for your rights and actually went to the forefront and died for the rights for you guys to have culture. So therefore, they had a drumbeat to it. In Spanish culture, we never had that. So therefore, the slavery and the racism got embedded into the country that people don't talk about racism out front. If you go to Colombia and stuff like that, unless you're black and people feel comfortable with you, they'll never say anything about racism. They won't tell you because it's not something that's out in the open. My family would say it to me because I'm Spanish and whatnot, and we'll talk about it. But if you came around us, we'll never say anything about it. We say, "Oh yeah, no, we don't have that." So it's embedded in the system. That's another thing, and you will only get that if you actually with people that are comfortable with you. They'll tell you what they feel. Well, I'm sorry. I just had to say that because when I said culture, I didn't mean it like you don't. Your culture is better, but it's different, completely different than ours. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. Because what I wanted to say is just that our culture is malleable and it just has so many different. Man, who is that over there breathing and shit? My bad, excuse me, I mean, cuz I did, but yeah, I was just want to say it's just different. Like we got Cuban, we got Mexican culture, Polish. It's just a thing, man. And I just think that it helps us more than it hurts us that we just have so many different things in one. That's pretty much it, bro.
But the thing with your country is not as man oriented. Even in the music, American music, and I've been saying this forever. I can go into detail about American Spanish music, but I'm not going to. But even in Spanish music, the music is made for men. It's not made for female. 99.9 music in Spanish, when you hear it, it's a men's story about what women have done. All it's about men. Rarely would you see a female get up there and look at your singers, they're all men. The songs about men. You come to the United States, that even men talk about women and what the men have done to the women, and I could treat you better than he can. Everything is about women, and how to coddle a female in the United States. In Spanish music, has nothing to do with. It's completely.
That's a good point. Okay, I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
If you ever listen to it, even right now, even when I listen to music, everything is about women. Even when the men sing, it's about how we done you wrong, and I could do better, and you deserve better, girl. Blah blah. Everything is to women. Spanish music is.
So wait a minute. Was the code of conduct?
No, I want to add a point. I want to add a point, Aaron.
No, I disagree with you, brother. Because if you look at like Luis Miguel, bro, he was a super simp. You know what I mean? He always sung like you talk, bro. Spanish music has a lot of symmetry in it, bro. Come on, bro. I ain't gonna let you get away with that, bro.
No. Listen to the words. The words. Listen to the words. Not.
I want to add a point when he's done.
Break down the words. The words are always about love songs or about a man being done wrong. It's never about a woman being done wrong. In the United States, about a woman done wrong, a man would start singing about a woman done wrong, or I could beat you, I could treat you, stand for your right, girls. You deserve better. I could do better for you. Spanish men don't say that.
Yes, they do. Spanish men are like the biggest simps. Like
no,
Spanish men, they be murdering bitches. Bro, come on, bro. I can't let you rock with that, bro. I can't let you rock with that, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay, I listen to Spanish music every day. Name me
hit that like button, man. Hit that like button.
I got a playlist. So I got a playlist.
I just want to know where the conduct went. I'm sorry, Farris.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick.
I'm pulling up right now. I got you. I'm pulling up right now.
It's still about.
It's about men loving women, but not men standing up like I'm gonna pay your rent and I'm gonna do it. That we don't have that.
Right. I think that the passport gang. I think we all agree that we're leaving American culture, Black American culture, white American culture. We're escaping that culture to a different culture that we like overseas, depending where the country is.
Yes.
And we're assimilating to that culture. And we're sharing those experiences because, there are certain values in that culture that we appreciate. Like here in Mexico, I can tell you, I'm going to be very honest, these locals will give you the shirt off your back, man. They're so humble. They want to talk to you, because you're a Black man in their country. They don't see that, in your restaurant. Hey, what are you doing here? Do you need any help? Let me tell you to go here. Let me do this and that. So I think, when we assimilate in these cultures, we should, represent and fit the narrative and respect it and embrace it and not bring in the negative aspects of American culture that, we pretty much grew up or lived in. I think that's very important.
Yo, see, I don't want to be negative, but I understand what you're talking about. Because remember, one point in time, Mexico was 51% black, right? Remember, Mexico had more black people in it than actual Spanish people.
Right.
One of the presidents was black. Two of the generals that turned into presidents were black too. You can look at that.
That's true. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, so and most of the food comes from Africa because is something there's some black, but most of them don't want to talk about that because it's something that they don't talk about. But that's not what I was saying, because they treat you different because you're American and your level of education and your level. Let's get one thing straight: people who travel have money. If you don't have no money, you can't travel. So basically, for you to travel, you have to be a better, in their eyes, you're a better representation of what American is. Because first of all, you can't have no warrant. You can't have child support that hanging because the United States won't let you travel. So the quality of the man that's going out there is a more worldly traveler. So he's going to see things differently. Second, he's going to be given because he's open to other things. We understand that. But the most important thing is you guys don't speak Spanish. And when you do speak Spanish, it's so broken and it's like scratching that people would not treat you the same they would treat a black person from that country. Because when I go to that country and I talk to people that are black from that country, my experience is completely different from yours, because it's just like you seen a brother out here and you pound him up. We'll talk about shit or stuff that other people can't. There is a racism in there, and there's a subset that really hates black. And I've given this story all the time about the Mexican girl I used to date. And I dated this Mexican girl. She looked like Lisa. The girl was drop dead gorgeous. I mean, she was just like Lisa. She was in love with me. She was drop dead gorgeous. So one day, me and my friends went to her house. Two black guys, a girl and a girlfriend, because her best friend was a girl who was black, and she had a boyfriend. We went to her house. I'm Spanish, so everything in the house I could understand. So her father is Mexican, the mother's Mexican, the brothers are there. We sitting at the table, and the father saying how much he hates black people, right? So I am laughing my butt off. I am in the house laughing, right? Because two people don't understand that the father's saying that he doesn't like black people. I understand he black people. I should be, but I'm laughing because I find it funny. So I turned to her and I said, hey, if your father doesn't like blacks, why do you bring him to your house? And she turned around and goes, because it's my house too. So I started dying laughing. So I'm a chef. I have a degree in culinary arts and business back then. I'm in the medical field now. So I started talking to her mother about cooking and whatnot. Then her father started talking to me in Spanish, and all of a sudden they like me. All of a sudden, I guess I have no color, right? Because I speak Spanish. She's like, oh, you passable, you're doable. Like I gave a fuck. Like I gave a damn about that. And I'm laughing. So my friend turns to me and she goes, I hate you. I said, why? Because you showing off because you Spanish. I said, no, I just speak Spanish. It's my culture. I understand where they're coming from, because I know a lot of Spanish people who hate black people. I really do.
But
I know a lot of black Africans that hate black people.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
So I mean, we just can't get around that, you know.
But it's funny. They do.
you know.
But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I see a lot in Colombia. But the weird thing is, in Venezuela, it's in their actual constitution that you cannot be racist. And if you
really in Venezuela, wow.
Listen to the national hymn, and it says in the hymn, because I was listening to it. Right, listen, I would break it down in English, because a lot of things, if you listen to it, if you go to Venezuela, like I think the whole country. No, well, I've met one woman who was racist in that country. The daughter told me, but the country is. There's a lot of black people in Venezuela, a ton of it. If you go to Petera, which will be in Caracas, and Petera, it's an old black neighborhood, right? But if you listen to the national hymn, it says, we are not racist, and racism will not be tolerated. Racism will not be tolerated. And most of their stuff says that racism won't be tolerated in there. And if you talk to Venezuela, they always tell you, I'm not racist. It's the weirdest thing. But that's it. But I'm sorry, you were telling me, Harris.
Well, let me catch these super chats real quick, man. Shout out to Xavier Lancaster. He's actually on the panel with a $5 super chat. I appreciate that, bro. He says, "Where were you raised? Dude with dreads that claim to be Splash." I guess he's talking about you, Branjur. I'll let you get back to that. Answer that in a second. Shout out to Reese, man. I appreciate that $10 super chat, bro. He says, "Enjoy your birthday." One to grow on my brother. I appreciate that, man. Really do appreciate that.
I am from Panama, but I have family in Costa Rica, Cuba, Santo Domingo, and Colombia, because all of it used to be called Gran Colombia. So Colombia was made up of, I think, 5 countries, a little bit of Brazil, Ecuador, Panama, and Venezuela, and Colombia was called Gran Colombia. So all of us, we got independent in 1904 from Colombia. So we used to be Colombians. So a lot of my family's in Colombia. I have a lot of family in Limón, in Costa Rica. I am Jamaican because my grandmother is from Spanish Town, so we came through that. But Spanish, you can't see. You see, the weird thing is you got to look at Spanish countries not as countries but as states. Think about it like this: Panama is 1/4 the size of South Carolina, right? Almost 3.5 million people, and most of those countries before all of this, all of them used to travel back and forth. Before the borders in Salvador, Honduras, and stuff like that, we used to always go back and forth. So most Spanish people are used to going back and forth to their countries because they're like states, like the United States. But you guys see it as countries, but we see it as states. So we all used to know each other. But now that there's wars and stuff like that, the guerrilla and all that, we can't travel because remember, Venezuela, you didn't need a visa to go from Venezuela to Panama. You didn't need a visa to go from Panama to Chile. You didn't need none of this like 4 or 5 years ago, but now everybody's cut off. So
Xavier Lancaster, you there? Yeah, take yourself off mute.
Lancaster.
All right, I guess you're not there.
Yeah,
you there?
So what's up?
Yeah, you there? Well, what you have to say on this topic?
Yeah, so I was coming in on the code of conduct thing. That's what got my interest. I know it kind of, diverted it. No, it's all good because you brought out a lot of good information, brother, and you brought out a lot of facts, and I appreciate all that information. It's noteworthy. But I went to military school. It was a boarding school in Woodstock, Virginia, and my mom sent me away. I didn't have a father figure, none of that, and so she thought this was best for me because I was surrounded by women. But they had a saying. It was in Latin. It was something like a non nobis salum. And it was not for ourselves alone. We had to come together and work together. And I took that, to heart because, you go there, you against it, you people see your way, military, all this stuff. People make you do push-ups that show age, it'd be crazy. But you get to this, you grow into it and you start to have an appreciation for the bigger picture.
You do.
Right? You get over yourself because they have stuff like basically like group punishment. So one person do something and they rely on the group. So I was that dude. So I'd be getting like, pajama parties. I ain't talking about pajama parties like you
when they hit you with the lockers.
Just throw a blanket on you and start whooping on you. You know what I'm saying? I'll be causing all kinds of hell. So at night, I'll be getting whooped up on. I don't know who from Adam, right? It might have been my homie or whatever. Because I'm causing too much dysfunction and I'm causing them to get in trouble, whatever. They allow the ranks to sort themselves out. You see what I'm saying? So I don't say that just to be bragging about I got my butt whooped, but I'm saying like it brings a certain humility once you understand the bigger picture and you throw your pride and ego to the side.
Mic check.
And I think that's when we go back into what the brother was talking about feminism, I put in the chat, I believe it was feminism that messed it up. Because when feminism came in, we got to understand that feminism was something that was started by the FBI for one. Just like COINTELPRO, feminism was started by the FBI.
Can you hear me?
It wasn't, and I'm talking about American feminism. I'm not talking about, Joan of Arc and stuff like that. I'm just talking about here in America. And what that did was they were saying, okay, black women, come join us and join us in our thing, because it was always the white. First of all, black people in general, we was all stuck together. We was in the mud together. We didn't have no rights together. We was basically equals, figuring out our own culture and code of conduct within our own communities. And you see Greenwood and all these other black bottoms and stuff that we had around the country. You know what I'm saying? When we were building up in the early 1900s, I brought this up yesterday, 100 years ago, it was better off for us as a people. And there's reasons to that. And code of conduct amongst men, I believe, is a big deal of it. But I believe when you have women separating themselves, and a brother brought this up yesterday about the government basically nourishing the woman and taking the place of the man, or that support and nourishment that we would give to them, that will allow them to supply that to the children, for them to nourish the children, because we got to nourish the woman in the family for them to go ahead and it's jump rolls downhill, so to speak, watching my language. But once you have that leadership gone and the government takes that capacity or takes that room, then and it's noted that a lot of black women at that time, though they didn't need it because their men were working, they opted for that government assistance so they can kick their men out the house so they can have more control. Because we go back to World War II, black men was fighting in that war too. And so there was a lot of black family or black households that didn't have that men there, and women was over there with they muscle up, with a bandana like the emblem shows, that was in the factories, and they didn't want to give up their jobs too. So it was a 20-year some odd struggle between then and the 60s when they end up getting that full momentum to have that independence. And when you go into the 80s, the color purple and all that stuff that breaks us down as men, and they kind of uplift the women at our expense. And so they look at us in a different way, like they don't need us. But, white women don't look at their men like that. Asian women don't look at their men like that. But it's specifically, that's why I always say you don't have an Asian Cardi B or a Megan Thee Stallion. You don't have a white Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. You don't have a Latino Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. And I like to look at that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some guys can correct me.
Hey, you know what, brother? I want to say this real quick. I've heard
Yeah.
Asian dudes say that Asian women are like race traders, low key, how like the swirl thing with white dudes. I've heard Asian dudes bring that up. I just want to say that real quick.
I mean, like in mass though, like we see like admirations of we see little examples of it here and there, and that's a fact. I'm not going to discredit that, but in mass though, cultures tend to stick to their own, because it's easier that way. You don't have to reinvent yourself. You don't have to explain a lot of things. People already understand you, where you come from, and the things you believe in, and all that, your history. So it's easier to deal with people that's like you. But when you have that separate, when we don't have that history, we don't have that knowing of where we come from in this country of America, and you have that separatist event of feminism or shamanism, however you want to put it. I don't want to get you demonetized, but we get a lot of flack from our own women, and that kind of separates it. So I think that kind of what led into a lot of this simp activity, because of the lack of support from our women in our own household, want to be separate. And so dudes trying to do whatever they can do to get to it, but now we're trying to come into it and reclaim our masculinity that a lot of these women have taken because they're in competition with us, which I find as a masculine trait. So that's kind of what I want to add to conversation, see what brothers have to say about that.
Thank you for giving me that, because I've been wondering for years now. I'm like, what caused that? Xavier, it works.
Yeah, it works. And let me catch the super chat real quick, guys. Got him going for the 5 super chat. I really appreciate that, bro. He says, thanks for checking Edward Anderson yesterday. He is funny style. Shout out to Edward Anderson. We just had a little bit of I won't even say a debate yesterday, maybe a disagreement on some of the stuff he said, but he's still good people at the end of the day. Go ahead, brother. Whoever was speaking before.
No, I was just saying that. I was thanking the brother for explaining that to me, because I've truly wondered what happened, what caused this, because I'm from Jamaica. It's not like that there, and I'm just like, what caused this? Like, did I don't know, maybe the white media ruined the black community some way? Like, what caused that? But as far as the feminism movement, I think, that is a good correlation to what has been going on.
Good point.
And just to add on to your
Xavier, go ahead, bro. I know you've been wanting to talk for a minute.
Yes, can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
Okay, no feedback there. Yes, brother with the dreads. What's your name? Sorry, I never did get your name.
My name is Brandjoy. Let me open this up.
Brandjoy. Okay. You extremely long-winded, and you said a lot of things. You covered a lot of things. You made a lot of claims. Let me just say that. First of all, you said, I asked where you from, and then I asked where were you raised, because you speak English. Yes. Not like the typical person from. You said you're from all of the list of things that you said you were from, the list of places. So,
I'm from
where were you raised?
I was raised in the States. In Panama. I was
Okay,
raised
so you were raised in the States. Where in the States?
in the northwest. I lived in Brooklyn, lived in Jersey.
Okay, I figured that. I'm from Brooklyn too. I recognize a Caribbean person that perhaps I recognize the accent. So you say you call yourself Spanish. You keep repeating the term Spanish, Spanish. You're not from Spain.
No,
And
the reason
Spanish is a language, and you seem to have adopted that. I'm Spain. I'm Hispanic. I'm from Spain. And by the way, we know a lot of people from Panama who happen to be of African descent, or black people in Panama. They come from Jamaica,
I just
and the
said
ones
that.
in Costa Rica as well. Okay, no, I was just making sure because you kept saying I'm Hispanic. I'm Hispanic.
No,
Jamaica
no.
is English.
Let me break that down to you. In the United States, we use Spanish. Like when we talk about Jennifer Lopez, we say she's Spanish. Do we not?
She's Latina.
But we always
Spanish
say
is a language.
no. Well, we from New York. When we talk about people, yo, you saw a Spanish girl? You don't say, oh, Puerto Rican girl, but you will say Spanish. We use Spanish.
Okay, let's not get caught up in the semantics real quick. I just wanted to be clear when you say that. When you say you're Spanish, you kept saying I'm Hispanic. You're by way of Jamaica.
No,
the
that's why I
Caribbean.
cleared it up. That's why I cleared it up. I said I'm Afro-Latino. I'm using that. Just a semantic, like you said, just because that's what we used to use in the United States. But then I said I'm Afro-Latino. I'm from Panama. Most Panamanians are Jamaican descent. That's why I did say that my descent goes from Costa Rica, Colombia, and we came from Jamaica. My grandmother came from Jamaica. Why? Because it was all called Gran Colombia. The country of Colombia had 5 different countries attached to it: Brazil, Ecuador,
Jamaica isn't one of them.
Panama, and Venezuela. Where Colombia was all one country, was called Gran Colombia. We got
But Jamaica
independence.
isn't one of them.
I never said that. I said in 1904 we got independence from Colombia. That's what I said. I said my people on my mother's side came from Jamaica. That's what I said. That's why I said I got family in Jamaica, Cuba also. I have family in Cuba. So that's why when I go to these countries, I can assimilate to almost all of them because all of them are basically the same. Jamaica standards are the same standards in Panama. Because if you listen to Panama music, you're going to say reggae in Panama. That's how reggaeton came from Panama, right? And then it flipped over to Puerto Rico. But reggaeton in general, 1974, 76, it's all Jamaican because that's how we listen in Panama. Because we are people, we talk like this if you want to know. Where they speak with a broken English in Panama. But go ahead.
Okay, is my mic unmuted?
Yeah.
Yes, unmuted.
Okay, so we're talking about this culture thing and off code, about a standard of code that need to be set. And for a lot of us that travel to these to countries as black men, black men travel. You wouldn't happen to think that there's what you may seem as what you may call a lot of off code behavior, whether in the Caribbean as well as in the Latin American culture, which is just another subsidiary of people that came over from Spain. So a lot of off code, speaking of being on code, a lot of off code behavior in Latin American culture and Caribbean culture as well, given the fact that you said African Americans or black people in America don't have a culture. You did say that.
I cleared it up. I said they do have a culture. I cleared it up. I said they do have a culture, and their culture is better than ours in the sense of, and I give you reasons for it.
Okay. Now, wouldn't you happen to say that we're all just as captured people? That includes you and I and everyone else that came that were brought over from Africa to be enslaved. Wouldn't you happen to say that we have found a subculture under being victimized under white supremacy, given the fact that you said we don't have a culture and we actually invented a lot of cultures?
I just said we had a culture, but let's go back to your thing in Africa. First of all, Africa, word Africa comes from Rome, right? Rome gave the word to Africa. Africa, the continent, that's not the name. So
semantics, please.
Let me finish my point though. If we talk about culture, most of African culture is not theirs anyway, because it was given to them by the oppressors, whoever the oppressor was. Now, the word Africa comes from Italy, from Rome, when they took them over, and made the word Africa, and then whoever took over whatever country. Now, there's a country called Ecuador Guinea. Ecuador Guinea is the 22nd Spanish country in the world. It's in Africa. right? So Africans speak Spanish and they don't speak no English. I could go there, feel comfortable because everybody in there is black, and if you could even put it up here, it's called Africa Guinea. No, it's called Equatorial Guinea, and it's in Africa, and they all speak Spanish, and their culture is Spanish, but they're in Africa. So whoever took them over, they got their culture, even in Africa. So it's no such thing. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: American culture is different than anybody else's because it was derived from pain and anger from black folks, and you accomplish more than anybody else. But it doesn't have a structure the same way Spanish does, and and it represents well in the music. Your music does not have a structure; it's freestyling. It's just you bop to it, and it's the best music in the world. But in Spanish music has a structure. So there's a way that people have to act in Spanish. In Spanish country, when I go with dreads, I'm seen as something completely off because most Spanish people do not have dreads because it's a very machismo country and everybody has to look a certain way, right? That is not, dreads is frowned upon. We all know that as Spanish people.
Brother, I just want you to know we invented culture. The word we invented culture on all levels. So when you say that the culture is not structured, we capture people and it's based on us being victims. Hip hop, everything that exists in America is based off of stuff that black people have pushed forward.
Well, we didn't create everything, let's be real, but we created some things. But we stole a lot of things from other people.
We who? You say you're Latino, we who?
We as black people.
Yeah. Because you talking, okay, you keep saying subculture. First of all, Haitian people created a lot of their culture because they the first country in the world that defeated the oppressors, right? And on the same island at Española, you have the Dominican people who got the culture from Spain. One island, two different people, two completely different outcome. One has no structure, one was structured, right? Because the French told them they couldn't even have their books, so they wanted their books. 1976, they stopped paying the reparation they did to France, right? So it's the same thing we're talking about. You have one that raised themselves but really have no culture, right? Because they created their own culture, but the culture is mismatched. And then you have another one that Spain gave them the culture and stayed intact, and they were able to live and prosper. The other country right now has to go to the other country as refugees to look for food. What I'm trying to let you see is that, yes, there's culture in both of them, but there's a different way that culture is applied. You follow me?
Can I chime in? You guys mind if I chime in real quick?
Please, go ahead, bro. Conversation.
I actually think there is a correspondence between the original topic of code, man. Let me make sure I smash this like button real quick. Oh, I did it. With man code and us going into the what do you call it? The disperse of black people, us spreading across the nations, the four corners, however you want to put it, diaspora, however you want to put it. I think there is a underlining correspondence with it because I think that's a big part of us not being on code. The brothers bringing a lot of factual history as far as Grand Colombia, as far as the Haitians rebellion, as far as Africa, Africanus, it's named after a Roman emperor. Africa basically is named after white men, just like America. So, and they're actually owned by the British, and the British ones are the ones. There's a map actually of them deciding to divide the country. So they decided the borders of Africa, not the natives themselves. So it seems like this part of the conversation is just a bunch of semantics, but it seems like we had to go through these points just so we can get to a code of conduct. And that's kind of like my main point of it, is that because we've been brutally beaten and separated and had all types of psychological and physical warfare put on us that we've had to deal with and had to overcome, that, we have all these different, it's like the Christian church. You have all these different sects. You know what I mean? And they have all their different rules, whether it's Baptist, Catholic, Christianity, Seventh-day Adventists, you got the Jehovah's Witnesses. You have all these different groups, and it just seems like the main point is the main point, but it's all these different type of hurdles to get to the main point. And at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, we go back to the 60s. It all comes back full circle. Feminism. What were they doing with the Christianity and the Nation of Islam? Had they come together, they would have been stronger, right? Let's throw away the stuff that let's put not throw away, but put aside the petty things that we may not agree on, and let's get to the root, the main meat of the stuff that we do agree on, and let's work on the things that we do agree on versus the nuances of the things that we can take care of once we get to a particular goal or make certain type of ground. But the brother's bringing out a lot of historical facts that I think, not that I think, but if you don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it. And it's, I get when you say semantics as far as like, well, you say you're Spanish or you say this. At the end of the day, it's all black because we're all treated the same way in these countries. And he already told you, like, having these locks, not the same way. I mean, I overstated that, but I'm just saying, like, when you, for example, when you say you have these locks, there's certain things, and when we represent ourselves in our full Afrocentric in a sense, is looked upon.
Let me let you know, you guys get treated way, 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 way better than any black in any country, anytime. There was a gentleman in here that was from Mexico, and he says he's getting treated like a king, or he made it seem like people are super friendly, because they are. The passport represents a lot. You understand that when you go to another country, you're an elitist. You come in at a 6. Let's say even Harris, he's in, I don't know, but he's somewhere in Colombia. When he walks out the street, he most likely lives in a nice duplex, in a nice house. When people go in, they probably see how he lives, the manner he carries himself, and how he represents himself. And it's going to be and they're going to treat him completely different anywhere he goes than an average Spanish person. Because I have been in Colombia. Me and my sister, I flew my sister to Colombia. We were only talking Spanish, and we got profiled the whole time we were there as Spanish people. Not until my sister spoke English did they went, oh, they black. No, they're Americans. And
I've heard this before.
And they got off us. I've been in Panama with me and my boy. We had backpacks, and they went and they started wanting to frick us because we were black. Then when we started talking English, everything changed. So you only see one point of it because that's all you can see. That's like looking at the water and you only see the top. And when you look underneath, you see there's a volcano, a whole bunch of shit erupted. Well, I get to see both sides. And I'm telling you right now, you guys have it so good in America that when you leave, you walk in on water in most of these countries. I get to go between both of them all the time. And I get to hear all the racism too, and I get to feel it sometimes. But I can walk out of it because all I have to do is, I'll give you a good thing. I'm in Panama, I'm walking with my dreads, and in Panama, you have no freedoms like you have here. They usually say, Becca, come over here, show me your ID. Anybody, right? They just call you, but roughly, they call you roughly. They always think I'm Panamanian. I pull out my ID and that shit is blue and says the United States. They always back up. Oh, no, go. They do it to me all the time. All the time. Oh, go. Because that passport means that you're not jail free, and it gives you, it elevates you. So please understand, you guys walk on a different path than most people do. So your code is completely different when you go to other countries. So
excuse me.
Sorry.
I just got summarized because I gotta go. Yeah, but I just want to say,
go ahead, bro.
I gotta just say this. I believe every man, we all need to set in place a code of conduct for ourselves before we have a code of conduct with other, and do our group economics part. So I truly believe that you need to look deep into yourself and not lie. Just be honest with yourself. What you agree with, what will fly with you versus what will not, and then you can go on to maybe who should I work with if you need to work with somebody. Some people may have to go solo, but most others will work together in a group. So that's why I just truly believe. Man. I'm sorry I kind of brought up a topic that spread out to something different, but it was good. It was a good conversation,
Good conversation, yeah.
Yeah, my man said, Akon, please. Yeah. Akon's one of my best friends. He don't think like that. I mean, I know his father, Mr. Tiam. I know his sister, Katie. I know everybody. This nigga is nothing like what you're saying. Akon said even slavery and black America. I could call him a fucker right now. Excuse me. I could call. He's one of my best friends. I've known him since we was 8. No, that's not what he thinks. In real life, what he says and what he thinks is completely different. He's from Jersey City. He lived on St. Paul Avenue. He went to number 6 school. No, so you can kill that whole Akon thing. He doesn't.
Yeah, Africans do be double talking. So
all right, take care now.
But
All right, see you later, bro.
high school he was like that, but I ain't gonna get into that stuff.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all joining the show. As you know, it's your boy birthday weekend, rather. So I'm gonna go ahead and get prepared for the party we got tonight. Appreciate
yes,
that.
sir.
I'm gonna see you in a minute, Citizen Lou. Brandrew, I wish you was out here, bro. I always miss you when you come to Medellin, bro. But it's all good, man. Appreciate y'all coming on the show. We're gonna do this again. We got a very big show tomorrow. So, guys, I know you want to join this show because it's in the group. We've been going back and forth, P for P versus dating. I don't know why it's such a big topic, but
it's been hot.
We got guys in the group. We actually got a guy in the group that's posting girls that are known working girls, and he's telling people in the group that they're regular girls. And telling like, you guys at P for P, y'all losers, y'all not doing nothing. I'm sitting here like, yo, bro, you know, she's a working girl. She works at Gusto's. She works, you know, at this club right here. So we're gonna chop it up tomorrow. It's gonna be a real good show, man. We got a few heavy hitters rolling in about this topic, and hopefully we can kill this topic off tomorrow. But for some reason, it's just a big topic, you know.
So what's the topic again?
P for P versus dating.
But it's the same thing, though. I don't.
Yeah, see, yes.
No,
we can go in. We can go a whole nother 3 hours about that.
The thing is this, though. I've dated both of them. In Colombia. So I've had girls that were P that worked, and I've dated them while they were working. So, and they're regular people. I mean, when I first got to Colombia, I was dating a lot of them because, I mean, once you speak Spanish, you can get in anywhere. And I was dating them, and they're regular people, have regular kids, have 2 kids, 1 kid, and they have to do what they have to do to survive. That's why I don't think the same way about them anymore, because I came with American mind frame that, yeah, that's disgusting, whatnot. And once I got to know them and started dating them, I'm like, they're just regular girls. Because really, you could even get a cop that's a P. You get a school teacher's a P. You could get a waitress a P. I mean, I've been in regular places, and I've had P's everywhere. So it really is it's a mindset. It's not really a girl.
I can't wait.
And I'll give you one even better than this. I'll give you one even better.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna get off. Go ahead, man. I have a friend of mine who owns one of the biggest peace places in Colombia. He owns it, right? Because he's a good friend. He owns a lot of property, really well off, really connected. He tells me anyway. So now we having a conversation because he came and picked me up. We having a conversation. This over 3-year conversation. We having a conversation. He said, "Hey, I just sent my daughter over to France." I said, "Why did you send your daughter to France? Your daughter's good." He goes, "First of all, the year before, he told me that a lot of lawyers and doctors and whatnot, their daughters, they do P just to get extra money in town, just to get extra money because they don't want to ask their daddy, so they don't do it just for fun." So this year he tells me, "Hey, I just sent my daughter to France." I said, "Why?" Because you know what happened? I sent her to private school in Colombia, and 2 other girls are doing that thing now. I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, 2 of her best friends, they're doing the P stuff." I said, "But they're from good family." He goes, "It doesn't matter. They do it just for fun. It's a regular thing here." And instead of my daughter doing that because he's rich, I send her to France. If you come with an American mindset, you're gonna say, "Yeah, P are just this," but you have to open your mind because it's everybody in Colombia. Oh, in these countries, it's everyone. It's not just that. You come up on a police officer, and she's a P after work because she makes more.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like driving for Uber.
Dang. So I can understand his point of view. Because I've done it. I've dated girls that were that, and I had no problem with it because I met them like that, and they were cool. And I've dated girls that weren't.
I think we're talking about. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about the shaming and the policing that goes behind it with other brothers in the group. So that's what we're really addressing.
The thing is, there is no shaming because everybody does it. If it wasn't,
but they be shaming.
Yeah,
it's a real thing. It's a real conversation. Dating versus P.
All these girls. No, you can. No, you can't tell them that, bro. All these girls are doctors and medics. They don't. All the girls they getting are just great girls.
I could call a girl right now who's a medic right now. I met her in Cartagena. She's a medic in Medellin, and she flew from Medellin to Cartagena to do her thing, and then go back to Medellin, and nobody knows what she's doing. And she's a good friend of mine. She's a medic, but that's what everybody does. It's the common thing there. So it's not like it's something that's uncommon. That's why there's no deviation. There's no. I mean, everybody is not. You have to get out the American mindset. Over there, they do it for as a giggle.
Yeah, but we're gonna chop it up
tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow, man, because we can go a whole nother 3 hours about this one.
Well, I could call the girls up and I could have had them in your show. Let's be real. And I'll ask them. I could ask them. That's what they do for a living. I go ask them.
But Brad, we're not talking about the girls or anything. We none of us here are shaming the girls about doing it. We're talking about the guys. Like the big conversation in the group is about to pay for it or not pay for it. It's guys shaming other brothers for doing what they doing. You know, my whole stance was
saying you ain't got no mouthpiece. You
right,
ain't no girls in America. Exactly. All that stuff. It's gonna be. I can't wait, brother.
So yeah, my stance was, hey, you're a grown man, you do what you do. So this is more about the men than the women. You know, women do their thing. We're not tripping on that. We're talking about the guys who in the group. I'm talking about every day hitting you. Why you guys doing this? Why you guys, just the shaming and the policing behind it. So that's what we're talking about.
Everybody do that thing.
Tomorrow.
If you don't speak the language, you're gonna always come out short, no matter what.
All right, brothers.
But I'm out, man. I'm sorry.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Hey, if y'all in Medellin, pull up on your boy. You doing it big tonight, man. Peace.
All right. Happy
birthday. Peace, brother.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate that, bro.